You know, I've reviewed quite a few flashlights on my channels now, and it's gotten to a point where I am starting to turn down offers for flashlight reviews, mostly because, well, the lights don't seem to be that much different from the other ones that I've previously reviewed. And about the only time I accept a flashlight for review now, when it's something completely different, something unique, and something I think you would be interested in seeing. So when the company urFlamp reached out and offered to send me their U1, I accepted, and I think you'll see why. Keep watching. Now, before we get started, I do want to thank the company urFlamp for reaching out and offering to send me their U1 flashlight. So I have not worked with urFlamp before. I wasn't familiar with any of their products. So when they offered to send the U1, I took some time to look at it, look at all the specifications, especially its key features, and it is a feature-rich light to say the least. But now, the one that they did send me is a pre-production model because they're still in Kickstarter. And I'll be able to give you the information where you can go and get more information about the Kickstarter program, provided it's still running by the time you watch this video, and you can learn more about it. But what I thought we'd do, as always, is start by going down to the tabletop where I can go over the features of this light, its performance and physical specifications. We'll do some demonstrations. Some of them have to be done indoors, the rest we'll do outdoors. All right, let's get started. Before we focus in on the light itself, let me share with you what it came with. Now, the box that mine arrived in is, because it's a pre-production model, this is not the box yours will arrive in if you decide you're going to purchase one. As you can see, this one was for media review. It's just a plain, simple box. It's what's inside that counts, of course. So to start with, I'm going to do a little backwards. This is the manual and warranty information. It is in multiple languages, and it is well laid out. I don't know if there's any improvements yet for the manual. I'm not even sure it's necessary. I think everything you need to know about it, the light, is right here. And a little bag of accessories. Now, I'll go through what's in the bag, and you'll understand. One of them was, I looked at it and I said, I don't understand. What is that thing? So what you get with the light, of course, is first off the light itself. Now, installed in the light are two 5,000 milliamp hour 21700 batteries. Those are two very large batteries. They are accessible, just not easily. They have to be accessed by taking this base plate off with a little Allen wrench. And the Allen wrench is actually provided. That's the item inside of the package. Actually, why don't we take that out and I can show that to you. We'll take all the items out just for a moment. Yeah, they included this little Allen wrench. Now, it's a standard metric size, so if you happen to lose this for whatever reason, you can use a standard metric size, I'm not sure which number it is, to be able to get at the batteries, to get them out if you, for whatever reason, need to replace them. That's different, to say the least. So that's feature number one. That's a little bit on the different side. There is a USB Type-C fast charge, or PD cable, so that should tell you something. This is a fast charge lamp with two 21700 lithium-ion batteries. You do need to be able to charge it up quickly, and this will accept a 15-watt fast charge. So that's a nice feature as well. Not a lot of lights are doing that yet. Some of the bigger ones are, but not all of them. And of course, I got a lanyard with mine, but you will also get a spare O-ring with yours. Mine just didn't happen to have it. Again, pre-production model. All right, we're going to go through a few of its key features before we get into its specifications. So to start with, the overall lumen output at its highest is 2700 lumens. Now, I'm going to show you this now, but I'll talk more about it, of course. And that is that the lamp on the end has both a spotlight and they call it a cobber, or circuit on board light. So it's more of a warm floodlight, which is changeable to temperature as well. You can see it kind of runs from the side of the lamp, but you can just turn it around, and now you've got a regular looking floodlight. So 2700 lumens, that is significant. And as I mentioned, the secondary light or color changing light, you can change the warmth of that, another cool feature for it. Now here's something that really made it stand out. And I'll let you judge for yourself whether you consider this a gimmick or not. But it is a Bluetooth speaker, a 5-watt Bluetooth speaker built in. And honestly, I really did consider this a gimmick when I first got it. I thought, you know, how would I ever use that? Why would I ever use that? When? Where would I ever use a Bluetooth speaker in my flashlight? Until I tried it. And I paired it with my cell phone, which was an easy thing to do. Pair it up right away. and it puts out some nice sound, much better than my cell phone does by itself. So if you are going to be out and away from home where you might have your other speakers, your other Bluetooth speakers, and you do want to listen to some music, and you want to be able to hear it clearly with some good fidelity, this actually provides reasonably good sound. I was quite surprised by it. It's maybe something you won't use, but it's a feature that is there, worth looking at in the total package. It also has a 10,000 milliamp hour 5-volt 3-amp power bank. So those two big 21700 batteries together will provide you 10,000 milliamp hours, so you can use as a power bank for charging other items like your cell phone. So what do you get? You get a spotlight, you get a floodlight, you get a Bluetooth speaker, you get a 10,000 milliamp hour power bar or power bank for use as well. And the last feature that I'll show you, and this may or may not be something that you'd be interested in, I found it kind of a good accessory. It has a 1/4-inch 20-thread mount for a tripod. So I can actually use this for filming, recording videos in darkened areas and use this as a illumination device for my recording, or you could use this with a tripod for other purposes, such as a work light. So if you wanted to need to do repairs for your vehicle or any other in dark area, you can mount this on a tripod for that purposes. Maybe also for food preparation at the campsite. So you can put it on a small tripod, light up your picnic table, and you are able to use this light as an area light as well. All right, I'm going to give you a few close-ups of the U1 flashlight from urFlamp as we go through its physical specifications. And let's start with the weight, because it's not insignificant. Honestly, there's quite a bit of weight to this. 13.76 ounces or 390 grams. It's quite a heavy light, but well, obviously, most of that is taken up by those two huge batteries in this. Now, length, 6.25 inches. The width across here is 2.25 inches, and the depth at its deepest is 1.125 inches. It is an IP76 water resistance. I've never heard of a 7. Actually, by the way, if you're not familiar, and I know most of you probably are, IP stands for intrusion protection. The first number is dust intrusion, and the second number is water intrusion. So IP76 is a high rating for dust intrusion and a moderately good rating for water intrusion. Certainly, if this was to be dropped in a puddle or left out in the rain, water's not going to get inside of it, but it will not withstand some prolonged submersion underwater. That's the only thing you need to know. And it also has an impact rating of 1 meter. Now, as far as the performance specifications for this light goes, there's quite a few different numbers that I'm going to give you. So you need to know, of course, I'll put all of it in the video description for your reference if you're looking for more information. As you can see, I've got the lamp set up right now so that the beam would cast out in this direction or in that direction, depending on which one I have turned on. And I will start with the spotlight on this side. So it has a turbo of 2,300 lumens, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Of course, that's only going to last for a short period of time until the heat protection circuitry brings it down to 1,000 lumens. So it'll last for 30 seconds, drop down to 1,000 lumens, which is still significant, and that'll last for 5.5 hours, so 5.5 hours afterwards. Or you can run it at 800 lumens. Still, that's quite a high rating for high, and that'll last 7.3 hours. Medium, 400 lumens, 16 hours. Low, 100 lumens, 63 hours. And it has an eco of 5 lumens lasting 745 hours. That's impressive, is it not? Now, the other one is the Auxillary Light, as I mentioned, and it basically has two settings, a high and a low. And the high will last, beams out at 200 lumens. Beams out is not quite the word I'm looking for because it's more of a flood or an area light, but 200 lumens lasting 16 hours, and you can drop it down to low, and that'll run at 50 lumens lasting for 60 hours. Now, just before we go through the operation of the U1, there is one small thing that I want to share with you, and that is the charging port, which is right here on the side. So to access the charging port, there's a small silicone plug that goes into the port, and yeah, that's the issue right there. It's not attached to the light in any way, so you know you're going to lose this. I know I'm going to lose it very, very quickly. If I do, I don't know that it will impair the light. The light should still reach its IP76 rating without the plug. I just don't like the idea that this is something that I can lose. So I'm hoping that the final production version of this light will have an improvement here where the plug itself is somehow permanently attached or fixed, or semi-permanently affixed to the light, so that you don't lose it as quickly as I am sure that I'm going to lose that. All right, let's get back to the operation. So operation of this light, very, very simple. There are 3 buttons on this front here, right here. Now, the center button, they are marked very, very small. There's some pictograms showing you exactly what it is, and it's written on there, kind of what it is that each one of them does. That's really small. I can barely see it. But then again, you don't have to be able to see it to know the operation. The center one will turn on the spotlight. So let me just turn that away from you, press the center button, and it's on and it's off. If I hold it, it will run through the stepping, as you can see. Let's take it back down to low. Okay, there we go. And I'll turn that off again. Now, if I want to use the soft light on this side, it is the button on the far right. So once again, I'll turn that on. You can see it is a nice warm light. That's set down low. If I hold it, it'll jump up to the higher light. Actually just changed colors. There we go, and it's changing back down to the lower light. So that's the running through the light there. Now, the third button, the one on my left, that's the Bluetooth button. Now, I'm going to activate Bluetooth, and it will connect to my phone, but I won't be able to give you a demonstration of the sound through this because, well, I'm actually recording using my phone right now. So to turn Bluetooth on, I press and hold. I guess it's press and hold a tiny bit longer.
Power on.
So now the Bluetooth is on, and it's connected just that quickly. So that's how quickly you can connect to your Bluetooth casting device, such as your phone. And now if I play music through the phone, it'll actually project through this speaker, and it's quite loud and quite clear. I'm actually very impressed with that. I would give you that demonstration, but I know, honestly, that it's not going to come through clearly on the video enough to give you an idea of just how good it operates. A new feature for sure on a flashlight. And to turn that off again, just press and hold.
Power off.
And now I'm disconnected from the phone again. All right, we're doing the nighttime demonstration for the urFlamp U1 light. I have it on eco mode right now. About 5 feet in front of the camera. Low. Starting to illuminate the backyard up actually quite well. Medium. High. That is a lot of light. There's a good combination of flood blending nicely into the spotlight in the center, and turbo. Brighter yet, virtually filling my backyard and the neighbor's backyard. A few closing thoughts for the urFlamp U1 flashlight. Calling this a flashlight doesn't seem adequate in a lot of ways. It seems to be so much more than just a flashlight. Certainly, it is a bright, forward-facing spotlight, and I think it actually could be used as a searchlight, although that's not its intended mission. It does have the capability of reaching out a long way with a lot of lumens and last for quite a long time. So you could use this as a searchlight, but there are lights that are better designed for that purpose. The area light from the Auxillary, I think that's a nice feature, quite honestly. I can see using that inside of the tent when you don't want a bright light that's blinding you and robbing you of your night vision. I can see using that at a camp table if you're working and doing some chores. Again, you don't want all that bright light. You just want a nice mellow mood light, for lack of a better term. Yeah, both of those lights will have some versatility in use. Now, the Bluetooth speaker, I'm sure many of you are thinking that's a gimmick that you would never use. And honestly, I'm not sure how often I'm going to use it either. Reason being is when I go to the woods, I bring my cell phone along for a lot of reasons. One, emergency communications, for secondary means of recording videos. But I don't often use it for anything else other than that. So I'm not a person that sits in the wood and listens to music. Having said that though, when Jen and I go car camping and we're sitting around in the evening reading, there are times we have thought that it would be nice to have some background music just to, relax to. So that may be something that you want to do. If you do, this will provide you that option. So that's the way to look at it. It's not a necessity that you use it. It's just an option there is there if you feel you would like to use it. And it does sound good. I know it's hard for me to explain or demonstrate that on the video, but it actually has quite a good sound considering how small it is and quite powerful at 5 watts as well. Now, there are a few things about the light I think that could be improved upon, and I'm hoping that some of these will be addressed in final production. As I mentioned, urFlamp did send a note along that told me that this is a pre-production model, and although the operating system is fixed, the exterior of the light may see some improvements. I'm hoping one of those improvements is that USB charging port cover, that they'll figure out a way to affix it or attach it more permanently to the outside of the flashlight so you don't lose it, because I know I'm going to lose that if I try to use it out in the woods someday to recharge. Now remember, this is not only for charging the light, but it's also for using that 10,000 milliamp hour power bank feature that this light has. Again, another piece of versatility to the light. So hopefully that's something that they will address. Now, there was another thing that the company mentioned, and again, I'm not sure if this will be addressed in final production, and that is, well, I guess I'll have to demonstrate this. Right now, I have the light set up so that I could use it as a flashlight with the spotlights aiming forward. And when that is set up like that, the auxiliary light, the warmer lights, are now turned towards inwards on the flashlight. You can still turn them on. If you were to touch the button for turning those lights on, they would still illuminate, but they're going to be enclosed inside of the rest of the flashlight. And the company does warn to be cautious about doing that. Now, they're not warm or hot lights. They don't generate a whole lot of heat, so they're not going to cause damage from heat, but they're going to run your battery down. So it's something you want to avoid doing. Now, I'm hoping again in final production that they can address that issue so that whichever light is facing inwards is turned off. It can't be turned on, I should say, is probably the better way to say it. Now, the last thing, this is a relative con, and it's something, again, I hope that they can address in future productions or versions of the light, and that is direct access to the lowest lumen setting, the eco mode. It has a nice low lumen setting that's great for use inside of the tent or anytime you don't need a lot of light and you don't necessarily want to rob yourself of your night vision. So if you could press and hold the button, like many other flashlights allow you to do, and turn that light on, I think that would be an improvement to the operation system. So I'll put that out there. I know that urFlamp will watch these videos and comments, and if you agree, maybe you'll put that in one of the comments. Speaking of which, let's wrap this video up. If you have any comments or questions of the U1 flashlight from urFlamp, put them in the comments section below. All the information I have regarding specifications, features, will all be in the video description, plus any links that I have. If the Kickstarter is still running, then the link to the Kickstarter will be there. Otherwise, the link to where you can purchase it will be there as well. But until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.